Let's take a look at sum, average, and sum product functions. These can be very useful for performing analysis. Let's assume that we want to analyze the costs of this business. So what I'm going to do is down below here, let's create a little header called cost analysis. I'm going to bold that. And I'm going to scroll up and copy, I want cost of goods sold. I'm going to hold down control here, SG&A, depreciation, interest, and taxes. I'm going to copy those and paste them here. So what I want to do is I'm going to link each of these up. So for COGS, I'm going to scroll up, select that, SG&A, depreciation, interest, and finally taxes. And then below that I'm going to write total. So the first thing that we can do is we can practice filling right. Press Control Shift down to select the entire area. Let go of Control and just holding Shift, use the right arrows, and press Control R. Now the first thing I want to show you how to do is a quick auto sum. Auto sum is a very fast way to sum a group of cells, and it's just Alt = sign. So I'm going to do that one more time. On your keyboard, press Alt and then equals and enter, and you'll automatically sum, and then you can fill that right. So I'm pressing F2 here to look at these formulas, a very fast way to auto sum. So the next thing we can do is let's compare the total to an average. Let's type average here, and then we're going to use the function equals average, open bracket, and select the entire list of expenses. And we're going to fill that right. So as you can see, we just quickly took a simple average of the group. The next thing that we can do is we can look at exploring the idea of a weighted average or a sum product. Now this is just sort of dummy data in this example, but you might want to weight things based on some sort of criteria. Now in this case, you could take, for example, you could type some weightings here. And let's just pick some random numbers, and I'm going to put 0 weighting on the taxes. And then what I could do is take a weighted average, and to do that I'm going to use the sum product function. Sum product multiplies out two arrays, and it sort of moves across the top, so it multiplies 10 by 67 million, 10 by 16, etc., all the way down, so it'll apply 0 weighting to this one here. And then we divide by the total to get the weighted average. So the first thing we're going to do is take this array, and then we're going to weight it against this array, which I'm going to lock in place with F4, because we're always going to be referencing those. And then I'm going to close bracket. So first I'll just take the sum product of all those, and I won't divide by the total. And let's do some formatting. Control C, Alt H, V, S, T. So as you can see, you get a much bigger number because we've multiplied these numbers out. And if I go here below the weightings and I use my Alt = shortcut to quickly sum that, what I'm going to have to do here is divide this by, and I'm pressing F2 to move around with the cursor, divided by 30. And then I can see in this case, when I created a weighted average, it was 29 million instead of 21 million. And now, I mean, it's kind of a silly number because we're just weighting expenses randomly, but The point here is to see how you would do a weighted average based on some criteria. And if I press F2 in here one more time, I'm also going to need to anchor cell C36 to be an absolute reference by pressing F4. So go ahead and press F4 there, and then this formula can be filled right. And as you'll see, I'm always using these same weightings right here and applying these weightings to all these various costs and then dividing them by the total of the weightings. So I can see here I've got an average and then I've got a weighted average. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is how to let's add a median as well. And it's quite simple in Excel. It's just the median function. And again, I'm going to select all the expenses, close bracket, and I see that SG&A 16.5 million. That's the median of the group. So another piece of statistical analysis that you can use here. And so you've got an average, a weighted average, and a median, and a total. And one last thing to clean this up for best practices. These are all hard codes here. So let's press Alt-H, FC, and make them blue. This is a formula here. Everything else is a formula, a reference to another cell, or a function. So we're in good shape in terms of formatting here.